Gumball, full name The Amazing World of Gumball, is a cartoon that premiered in 2010. Along with shows like Regular Show and Adventure Time, it was part of Cartoon Network's golden age. I can confidently say that Gumball is one of the funniest and most absurd cartoons I've ever watched. This cartoon series has a total of 6 seasons, and in this video I will summarize these 6 seasons in detail from start to finish. Let's get started! Before we dive into the video, I would be very happy if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. I am new to this concept and need your support. Before we dive into the summary, let's get to know the characters a bit. This blue cat most of you probably know is named Gumball Watterson and is the main character of the show. The other members of the family are Nicole Watterson, hardworking, determined, and a bit angry. Richard, a big rabbit known for his laziness. Anais, on the other hand, is a very smart rabbit. So smart that she goes to high school at the age of 4. And of course, there's the adorable family goldfish, Darwin. Despite being a fish, he has legs and is Gumball's best friend. There are a lot of other unique characters in Elmore, but if I were to describe them all, this video could be 2 hours long. So let's jump straight into the summary. Our first episode is The Responsible. Gumball and Darwin tell Anais that they can babysit her because Nicole and Richard need to go to a school meeting. Gumball and Darwin break anything that could harm Anais and act very overprotective. So I can say that Anais is the more responsible one. Gumball and Darwin chase Anais to get her into the bathroom, but during this, the bathtub overflows and floods the entire house. Nicole and Richard come home. Our heroes manage to escape through the chimney, but Nicole is not too happy when she enters the house. At the end of the episode, no one takes responsibility for the events and they blame the internet. Well, it seems to have worked. In the next episode, Gumball and Darwin manage to break the DVD in the dumbest way possible. To fix this problem, they even make a cardboard DVD, but the DVD store demands they bring $25 immediately so they can't tell their mom because she might get angry. They somehow manage to bring Nicole to the store and then start running away. Nicole chases them all the way to the store. When they get there, we see their plan more clearly. They've made a fake of the train alligators, but the store clerk doesn't believe it. You're probably asking, who's Larry? Well, we're going to see him a lot. Nicole arrives and her anger subsides when she realizes it's only $25, so she pays the money, but then they're charged a late fee of $700, so they run away. In the third episode, we see our heroes playing a homemade dodgeball board game, but they are very bored. They realize they need a third friend and decide to look for one at school. Their options are Tina, William, a weird eye with wings, and Banana Joe. But these characters are a bit strange for them. These are also side characters we'll see a lot in the show. While they are thinking in the bathroom, Tobias shows up and offers to be their third friend for money. Darwin gets along very well with Tobias, leaving Gumball in the shadows. To make Darwin jealous, Gumball starts hanging out with Alan, who is a talking balloon. But in the end, Gumball realizes he needs Darwin and goes to Tobias's house to get him back. He finds Darwin crying and they become friends again. In the next episode, we meet Mr. Robinson, a puppet who hates Gumball. Also, the Robinsons live right next to the Wattersons. When Mr. Robinson saves Gumball's life, Gumball vows to repay the debt, but Mr. Robinson doesn't want anything from him. So Gumball's heart is broken. Because of this, Anais and Darwin send him a fake letter. The letter says that Mr. Robinson's life is in danger at today's talent show, so Gumball goes to the talent show to save Mr. Robinson. Gumball actually saves Mr. Robinson, but Mr. Robinson is still not happy. Despite this, Gumball is proud of himself. At the end of the episode, Gumball accidentally hurts Mr. Robinson a little and the episode ends. In another episode, we meet a girl named Masami. She is a talking cloud. While talking about boys in the treehouse, Masami lies that she has a boyfriend and claims Darwin as her boyfriend. But Darwin makes a pact with Tobias and Banana Joe that boys are superior to girls. Masami pressures Darwin to prove he is her boyfriend. Darwin doesn't know what to do and jumps out the window. The girl Gumball has a crush on Penny, meets with him, but because of the pact, he also has to jump out the window. Masami pressures Darwin to climb up to the treehouse and kiss him in front of the other girls. Gumball also climbs up to the treehouse to save Darwin, or maybe to kiss Penny, who knows. Meanwhile, Tobias and Banana Joe cut the tree down. Just when the two are about to kiss the girls, they accidentally kiss each other instead. Despite this, they seem quite happy. In the episode The Lazy, we see how lazy Richard is. He is so lazy that his only job is to take out the trash, and he doesn't even do that. He tells Gumball and Darwin that they won't find anyone lazier than him, but Gumball and Darwin hear about lazy Larry. Larry is the same person from the DVD episode, but is no longer lazy and now works as a cashier. He tells Gumball and Darwin that he is no longer lazy, has a job, a car, and a girlfriend, but our crazy duo ends up ruining his life. In the end, Larry becomes lazy again, but so lazy that he can't even make it home. So they have to deal with their father themselves. Later, Gumball really wins the competition, but when Nicole comes home, Richard pretends he's been working all day. Nicole makes the kids do the chores, and in the end, Richard is the winner. The next episode introduces an important character. Carrie? We saw her in the Treehouse episode. She's a ghost who starts using Gumball to taste food because she can't taste it herself. But the problem is that when Carrie possesses Gumball, he can't control himself and eats everything. When Gumball tells Carrie, "You can't use my body anymore," she goes crazy and forcefully possesses him, even making him eat trash. But then they introduce Carrie to Richard, and she possesses him because he loves food even more. In the following episode, Richard's cranky grandmother Jojo arrives and kisses the kids to greet them. However, she accidentally kisses Gumball on the lips, which traumatizes him. Darwin tries various quirky methods to help Gumball forget the memory. He goes so far as to crawl between the fingers of the school giant Hector, but it works and Gumball forgets the incident. When Gumball goes to get a goodbye kiss from Grandma Jojo, the same thing happens again, as you might expect. Gumball combines the grossest things on Earth into a mush and puts it in a jar. However, Richard unknowingly microwaves the jar, creating a monster named Kenneth. This monster grows by eating trash and eventually starts eating most of the people in Elmore. Darwin enters Kenneth's body through a pipe, and when Gumball opens the valve, water fills up and bursts Kenneth back into baby form. They give him another chance, but this time the whole city is destroyed. In the episode The Job, Richard finally finds a job and starts working as a delivery driver at a pizza place. The reason he works as a pizza delivery driver is to sneakily eat some of the pizzas. He drops a pizza box while on the job. Gumball and Darwin join the job to help their dad. And we notice that Richard working a job is disrupting the fabric of the universe. So Nicole tries to stop Richard and takes Larry with her because Larry is the manager of the pizza place. They try to stop the delivery, but they fail. The customer realizes the pizza has been eaten, so Larry fires Richard and everything returns to normal. In the Halloween episode, Gumball, Darwin, and Anais plan to enter an abandoned mansion. Carrie gives them a potion, allowing them to see other ghosts. However, the ghosts realize they aren't real ghosts. Gumball and Darwin drink too much of the potion and turn into real ghosts. Darwin, in this state, does what he always wanted to do and kisses Carrie. Before midnight, they return to their bodies and avoid becoming permanent ghosts. The episode ends this way. Did I mention that Richard is dumb? Because in this episode, we find out why Richard is dumb. Richard ends up in the hospital, so Grandma Jojo comes and imposes many rules, making the house very safe and turning everyone into idiots by preventing them from thinking too much. All they do now is watch TV and eat. Nicole hates this and tries to return everything to normal. She fights with Grandma Jojo. Richard and the kids take the car and start driving, but they don't know how to stop it. However, Richard uses his brain and remembers the location of the brake pedal, managing to stop the car. In the episode Pony, Gumball and Darwin leave the DVD store with a movie they got for Anais. While running on the way home, they see a character but can't remember their name, so they throw the character into the sewer. After a few events, they manage to bring the movie home, but Anais doesn't like it, and the episode ends this way. In the episode The Finale, the Watterson family looks at their scrapbook and realizes they have to face the consequences of their accidents, crimes, and everything else they've done in previous episodes. There's a knock on the door and they learn they have to pay for everything they've done. Eventually, they end up in jail, but Gumball refuses to accept this as the end for the Wattersons and manages to escape. They bring Kenneth back and engage him in a battle with Hector. By the end of the episode, the whole town is against them and breaks into their home, but Gumball mentions that the only thing that can save them is a magical device that resets reality. And so it happens, the episode ends with reality being reset. Moving on to the first significant episode of the third season, the Void episode. Gumball and Darwin notice that something is missing in Elmore, and that's when By Small appears. They learn that even he has lost something, prompting Gumball and Darwin to investigate. They realize that the missing person is Molly, the dinosaur girl who appeared previously in the Treehouse episode as the owner of the treehouse. They discover a rift where Molly disappeared, understanding that it's two-dimensional. From this rift emerges a void containing all the mistakes made by the world, and if one looks closely, Rob can also be observed there. This character is significant. Gumball and Darwin find Molly in the void and realize they need to escape before the rift closes. Mr. Small finds his caravan named Janice, which helps them escape the void. However, at the end of the episode, the void erases memories from their minds. In the next episode, titled The Shell, a significant change occurs. During a rehearsal with Penny, Gumball accidentally headbutts her, causing a crack in her shell. Penny's father disapproves of the situation and expels Gumball from their house. Later that night, Penny sneaks into Gumball's room and Gumball helps her break free from her shell. Penny succeeds, but feels insecure about her appearance, transforming into different forms as she runs away. Gumball stands up to Penny's father, finds Penny in the forest, and proves that she is not a monster by kissing her. This leads to a happy ending for the episode. In the episode The Bros, we see Darwin's jealousy towards Penny. Since Gumball is spending more time with Penny, Darwin tries to sabotage her. Meanwhile, Gumball is contemplating proposing to Penny. However, Penny suggests that Gumball spend more time with Darwin. Gumball and Darwin plan to invite Penny to a cabin where Gumball intends to propose to her. However, things do not go as planned. In the end, Gumball successfully proposes, but Penny declines, saying they are too young. Instead, she comes up with a great idea, declaring Gumball and Darwin as best friends forever. In the next episode, Granny JoJo introduces the family to her new boyfriend, Louie, which doesn't sit well with Richard. Richard claims his father went to get milk and will return, but Granny JoJo reveals he won't be coming back. Ultimately, Richard accepts Louie. In the Oracle episode, we meet Banana Joe's mother, an important character. Banana Joe had previously drawn everything that happened in earlier episodes and now draws today's prophecy. Gumball fears being naked in the mall and his mother forces him to go. Over time, the prophecy unfolds and he ends up taking off all his clothes, fulfilling the prophecy. In the final scene, we see Barbara drawing a yet-to-be-fulfilled prophecy, which is quite eerie. In the Nobody episode, Gumball and Darwin are accused of stealing the family's personal items. However, they did not do it. When everyone else leaves, Gumball and Darwin are left alone at home. Soon, they realize someone else is in the house. They discover a hidden basement where someone has been living for months and start chasing them. They eventually talk to him and he introduces himself as the Nobody. They remember seeing him in the Void episode. He is Rob, who had asked for their help, but they only saved Molly. At the last moment, he managed to escape the void by jumping into the back of the van, but his body was damaged, making him the main villain of the series. He vows to take revenge on the Wattersons. When we move to the fourth season, we see Rob again. In this episode, Rob sets diabolical traps for Gumball and Darwin, but none of them work properly. So Gumball and Darwin help him become a better villain. Eventually, they decide on the name Dr. Destructor for him and give him a villainous voice and costume. Rob claims to have damaged the dam's cables and asks Gumball and Darwin for help, but it turns out it wasn't a dam cable at all. Just a vending machine. In fact, Elmore doesn't even have a dam. At the end of the episode, Gumball and Darwin fall into Rob's trap, and Rob decides to become evil again. In the episode The Signature, we see that Richard's anger towards Louie hasn't subsided. He has Louie sign an adoption certificate, making Louie Richard's child. Throughout the episode, everyone adopts each other and the family gets very confused. They realize that the only person who can solve this mess is the oldest member of the family, Richard's father, Frankie. They find him seriously. Frankie ends up stealing Richard's entire fortune under the guise of an adoption certificate and heads to the bank. Just as he is about to have the document notarized, he remembers Richard's face when he went to get milk. This brings him a sense of conscience and he decides not to approve the document. At the end of the episode, Frankie joins the family and the episode ends happily. In the episode The Origins of Darwin, we go back to the past and see Gumball as a child. To calm Gumball down, they buy him a red Japanese fish, but Darwin dies many times, and Richard keeps buying a new one. Eventually, the fish run out, and Richard buys a Japanese fish from a mysterious caravan, which turns out to be Darwin. Darwin is a special fish. At the end of the episode, when they are about to take a family photo, Darwin speaks and accidentally falls into the toilet. But don't worry, in the next episode we learn that Darwin is in the sea, and with Gumball's love, he emerges from the sea and starts to breathe. Darwin walks long distances and, again with Gumball's love, grows legs and manages to reach Elmore. Just as Gumball is about to get a new fish, he senses Darwin and they reunite. Little Gumball gives him his green shoes. Darwin says, "I will never take them off." Definitely one of the best episodes. In the season 4 finale, we see Rob acquiring a universal remote from a mysterious caravan. This remote is so powerful that it can control everything in the universe. And of course, he uses it to take revenge on Gumball. Rob starts to ruin Gumball's life slowly using this remote. First, he hurts Darwin's feelings using subtitles. Then he causes Gumball's parents to fight, leading to their separation. Next, Rob dims the brightness, causing Anais to disappear. Following that, he makes Gumball bump into Penny, causing her to fall, and accidentally kiss Sarah in front of Penny. Rob has truly ruined everything Gumball cares about, leading Gumball to fight him. During the fight, Rob wins with the help of the remote, but it runs out of battery, so he throws it into the void and Gumball has to go after it. In the continuation of the episode, Gumball manages to reach the remote and puts the battery back in. He rewinds time, giving himself another chance. Season 5, Episode 1 is a continuation of the previous episode, and the same events occur again. However, Gumball realizes that he has lived through these moments before and remembers everything. This time, he tells Darwin about what happened and pins Rob down. However, they accidentally rewind Nicole and Richard, turning them back into babies. Since their parents are babies, the children were never born, and they start to disappear. Anais vanishes. Then Darwin reverts to his original form and dies on the spot. It was truly brutal. While chasing Rob, Gumball once again makes Penny fall, and they fight again. This time, Gumball wins and pushes Rob into the void. However, Gumball's conscience doesn't allow this, and he goes into the void to save Rob. In the end, he manages to catch Rob. Since Gumball is disappearing, he cannot use the remote. Rob rewinds and allows Gumball to live, and they truly become friends. Rob rewinds again, and we return to the beginning of the episode. This time, he breaks the remote, and no one remembers anything, ending the episode. In the next episode, The Matchmaker, Gumball sees Darwin listening to sad music and thinks he's heartbroken. When he opens the computer, he sees Terry and assumes Darwin is in love with her. Gumball asks Carrie for help to set up Terry with Darwin. Initially, Carrie feels sad when she hears this, but agrees to help. Meanwhile, Carrie sabotages all of Gumball's plans because she doesn't want Darwin to be with Terry. However, feeling guilty for her actions, she decides to genuinely help Gumball by performing a dark spell. This potion causes anyone who takes it to fall in love. But towards the end of the episode, we learn that the person in the photo wasn't Terry. Because Carrie is a ghost, she didn't appear in the photo. Gumball tries to prevent the relationship with Terry, but the spell is too strong to be stopped. In the end, seeing Carrie upset, Darwin breaks the spell and goes to her, confessing his true feelings. We've reached the final season, Season 6. Our first episode is The Rival. This episode tells the story of how Anais was born. When Anais was born, she was a bit of a troublemaker because she threw Gumball and Darwin out of the car while driving. But her mischief didn't stop there. Anais truly didn't like them and was always setting traps for them. Gumball and Darwin got angry and set a trap for her, putting her in a box. But accidentally, this box ended up in a garbage truck. Gumball and Darwin, worried, followed the truck to the dump and managed to save the box with difficulty. However, Anais was not inside. She suddenly appeared behind them and tried to push them, but when Gumball and Darwin hugged her with love, Anais began to love them. We have 2 episodes left. In the episode The Future, we see Banana Joe's mother, Barbara, again. However, this time she has been kidnapped by Rob. Rob forces Barbara to draw the future, but Barbara only draws the void. However, we realize that Barbara is not drawing the future, but changing reality with her drawings. Barbara uses a portal to bring Gumball and Darwin, and they start fighting Rob. In the end, Gumball erases Rob from reality. At the end of the episode, Barbara says there is no such thing as the future, and the episode ends. And we come to the final episode, the Inquisition. In this episode, we see Principal Brown running around in a panic. The reason is that a humanoid inspector is coming to the school. The inspector arrives and starts inspecting everyone. He says they are too cartoonish and begins transforming them into human forms. He goes so far as to turn them into real humans. Gumball and Darwin manage to escape because they are cartoons. They then manage to return everyone to their original forms and capture the inspector. In the end, we learn that the inspector is actually Rob. Rob says that it has a purpose and that he is actually trying to save everyone, but then they knock him out. At night, Rob wakes up, but says it's too late. Suddenly a void opens and Rob falls into it. Thus the cartoon series ends. Actually, Gumball isn't over yet. Even though its last episode aired in 2019, the producer has announced that a new season will be coming. There were even talks about a movie at one point. We'll wait and see. Thank you for listening to me. I watched all the episodes from beginning to end and put a lot of effort into this video. So if you like the video and subscribe to my channel for this new concept, I would be very happy. Goodbye!